The Universal Orlando experience is going to change forever. Over the last 20 years, the Universal experience has been quite the same. But on May 22nd, 2025, everything will change. In this video, I'm going to talk to you just how that experience is going to change, what's going to stay the same, what's going to be different, and how it's all going to be better in the long run. So let's get into it. So come on and join me. I want this video to be more of an open dialogue and just discussing what I think is going to happen once Epic Universe opens. There's a ton of things, of course, and we're not going to dive into the lands, and we're not going to talk about that, how that will change the experience. We're going to talk about the overall experience of Universal Orlando. Right now, you go to the parks, you get a 2-park experience, well, 3 parks if you count the water park. You get that experience, and it's all pretty much close together in that range, correct? The first thing that's going to change is the location and how to get to this Epic Universe Park. The biggest change here is that the Epic Universe Park is a few miles down the road. It's not very far down the road, but it is a little further than just Islands of Adventure across the street. So therefore, it's going to create a all-week experience. That is the biggest takeaway from this, and Universal has said themselves that this is not just a 2 or 3 day experience anymore. This is a full week experience. For Epic Universe itself, it's going to take a few days for you to get through the park itself with so many lands, 4 different distinct lands, and of course Celestial Park as well, which kind of acts as the main hub of the park. But besides that, it gives you the opportunity to go to Universal Orlando, Islands of Adventure, and Volcano Bay, which is Universal's water park. Now, with that being said, how can you make this an all-week experience? Well, it's very easy because we all know that every time you go to a theme park, you can't just get everything done in one day, right? There's not just rides, there's shows, there's other entertainments, there's shopping, there's all kinds of different things as well as dining. So with this experience being added to the park, it's just going to make it a more immersive experience where all week is what you need to get through this experience. Not to mention, there's multiple resorts to stay at, there's multiple resorts to explore, so there's plenty to do with the new Universal Orlando Resort. Speaking of the hotel experience, that is going to change as well with the Helios Grand Hotel, which is actually going to be inside of the park at Epic Universe. This is a 500-room hotel, and it is going to showcase the park of Epic Universe, as you can get some rooms that you can actually see outside of the windows while you're in your room. Also, it's going to change the experience of how you enter the park at Epic Universe as well. This is going to be completely different. While Universal hasn't given us every detail yet, this is going to be a very unique experience because this is going to be unlike any other thing that is going on. You can actually enter the park from the hotel. If I'm going to guess right, there's probably going to be early park admission for those staying on site at that hotel. But right behind that, you have the Stella Nova and Terra Luna Resort, which is very close to Epic Universe. That is 2 new resorts that Universal is adding, as well as the Helios Grand. So it just changes that aspect and that experience. Where else can you go in the world where the theme park is directly beside the hotel, or the hotel is directly inside of the theme park? It's crazy, but it's amazing, and I cannot wait to stay there. And I think that's one huge thing that's going to change. Now, this point is kind of a point combined together. We're going to talk about how it's going to affect the attractions at Universal Orlando and how it's going to affect Halloween Horror Nights. Let's start with the attractions. First of all, every attraction at Islands of Adventure and Universal Orlando has Express Pass except for one, and that's Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure. Now, with that being said, is this going to change? We don't know at this point, but I remain hopeful that this will change and that there will be a brand new Express Pass line for Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure. With that being said, it is possible that they won't do it for a while, but I would think that this is what they're kind of waiting for, is to open that up for Express Pass. Velocicoaster is the newest attraction at Islands of Adventure, and it has Express Pass. But Hagrid's doesn't. So I believe that once this is dispersed and we have 3 parks at this point, 3 actual theme parks, I believe that this is what's going to happen. I think that they will add Express Pass to that, with rumors going around the Epic Universe is also going to offer Express Pass as well. So we will have to see. That's my opinion on that, and how that's going to play out, we'll have to see on that. But Halloween Horror Nights, how's it going to change Halloween Horror Nights? I think the base of Halloween Horror Nights will pretty much stay the same. There is always the possibility of doing it in both parks, like people have been asking for years. They did do this quite a while ago, but I don't think it went so well, so that's probably why they're not really opting to do it. But they may want to give it another chance and put Halloween Horror Nights in both Universal Orlando and Islands of Adventure, which would be very unique and very different, right? With that being said, how is it going to affect Epic Universe? I think it's going to affect Epic Universe in the fact of that it's going to give another park longer to be in at night. Now, if you look at the schedule for Halloween Horror Nights, a lot of times Islands of Adventure is only open up until 8 p.m., maybe 9 at the latest. So what I think with Epic Universe is this is going to give you another option that you can go to Epic Universe, hang out until 9, 10, 11 o'clock, however late they're going to be open, and I think that will change the experience there. So overall, there will be a third option to go to once Halloween Horror Nights is going on, and you don't have to worry about the crazy security in City Walk and everything while Halloween Horror Nights is going on. You can just go to Epic Universe and enjoy the park there. I still believe that that park will be open later than Islands of Adventure during Halloween Horror Nights. At least, I hope so. Which brings me to my next point. Having 3 theme parks is going to disperse the crowds a little differently. So let's say, for example, there's 5,000 people in Islands of Adventure. There's 5,000 people in Universal Studios, correct? Well, if you have a third theme park, what if half of those people in both parks are going to Epic Universe? It just kind of makes sense. And I think what this will do, it's going to drive up business, because the way that Universal is doing this right now, that you have to buy a multi-day ticket for right now, if you are not an annual pass holder, they will change this. That's for right now, but they will change it. Just trust me on that. And what's going to end up happening is the crowds will disperse throughout everything. So one day, majority of the crowd might be at Islands, majority might be at Universal Orlando, and then the majority might be at Epic Universe a different day. So I think it's just going to make the wait times go down. I think the waits are going to be way lower. The dining is going to be an easier experience, which it's always easier at Universal anyway. Universal's dining experience is phenomenal compared to the guy down the street. But with that being said, I think that's going to change everything. As far as that goes, the crowds, while Universal doesn't overly seem crowded most of the time, I think it's going to definitely bring that down, especially Islands of Adventure, because Islands of Adventure houses Hagrid's and Velocicoaster, which are 2 of the most popular attractions in the park. So I think that's what's going to happen. I hope that's what's going to happen. And I think that it's going to make for a better experience of just walking around and enjoying the park. Those parks are already enjoyable as it is, but with the third open, I think it's going to really evenly change everything. Another thing that it's going to change is the experience for the kids. Universal Orlando has the DreamWorks Land right now as it is, and then Islands of Adventure has a few things there like Seuss Landing and the Camp Jurassic, which are great, but it's going to make it more immersive for kids when Epic Universe opens up, being Super Nintendo World and How to Train Your Dragon Isle of Berk. This is going to open up so much for your kids, and it's going to give more experiences to them. And Universal's been really careful of how they can make stuff more kid-friendly, more family-friendly, that includes the whole family and not just the older adults, the younger teenagers, or whatever. It's going to include the little kids as well. And I think that's going to be a really good experience. Super Nintendo itself, I'm a big kid. I will be spending a lot of my time in Super Nintendo World and the Isle of Berk. I think it's just going to be fun. Overall, it's going to open up more to where kids want to come more. They want to do stuff more than the guys down the park, because it's more updated and it's more along the lines of maturing as well. I think like those kind of properties, like Island of Berk, stuff like that, I feel like it's more of like your kids are starting to get older. Super Nintendo, stuff like that. And it may not just be that. I don't know. I don't have a kid. But I think it's going to change that experience overall. And I think it'll be a really fun experience for the kids. I I really think Universal's really working on that and really trying their best to get everything as good as it can be to compete and be number one. My last point here is pretty simple, and it's going to change the landscape of theme parks in general. It is going to cause an economic boom here in Orlando, in the Kissimmee area, because there's going to be more to do. So not only is Universal going to benefit from this, SeaWorld Orlando is going to benefit from it, and Disney World is as well, because it's going to sell tickets. You're here, you're like, hey, let's do 3 days at Universal, let's do 2 days at SeaWorld, or 1 day at SeaWorld, and let's do 2 days at Disney World. It's just going to be better for everyone. It's going to make the economy better here in Orlando. It's going to drive up things. It's going to make things great. And I cannot wait to see that and how it just plays out. I think people are going to come. They're going to be there for their Disney experience or their SeaWorld experience. And they're going to be like, how do I get to that Super Nintendo World? Oh, I got to go to Epic Universe. Let's buy a ticket. And it's just going to increase profit for Universal. And it's going to be such a good thing. And Universal has really turned over profits from what I believe, and they've really grown in the last couple of years. And we are all for Universal growing and expanding and just adding more and more and more. So overall, the experience is going to change because it's just going to get bigger. Bigger opportunities, bigger things, bigger attractions. And we'll have to wait and see what they announce when Epic Universe opens up. I have an idea what they might announce. I don't know for sure, but if they announce something pretty cool, I might have to tell you that I was right the whole time, right? But anyway, this was a lot of fun making this video, talking about what it's going to change, how it's going to change. And if you have never gone to Universal Orlando, if you've never experienced it, give it a chance. I'm telling you, it will change your life. It is for the better. In my opinion, it is the better theme park in town, and it is so much fun to be at. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. Hit that like button and the notification bell so you know when our next video is coming out. And remember, the road goes ever on. I will see you next time.